Cynthia Allen here, and I wanted to talk about the role of confusion in learning and the role of confusion in doing Feldenkrais awareness through movement lessons. Well, even in doing Feldenkrais private sessions, which we call functional integration. Well, at the heart of somatic education, somatic learning, is this idea that we're reconnecting to being our inborn software, that thing we were born with that allows us to take in new information and ponder it long enough to make sense out of it. So you may have experienced by now doing a Feldenkrais awareness through movement lesson, or actually any somatic education lesson like those from Movement Intelligence with Ruthie Alon, Bones for Life, and Walk for Life, Movement Solutions, that there's these times when you hear the instructor say something and you think, what? What could they mean? I mean, that makes no sense. My own favorite is when I hear something that I don't understand, I say, the instructor's wrong. They're just wrong. They made a mistake. Well, that's a whole other issue, what it is we do when we get confused. We'll talk about that maybe sometime in the near future. But let's just talk about the value of confusion. There's a lot of value in muddling through on your own. This is just completely normal. I just have to say that again. It is normal. Normal. If you're not getting confused, then I have to wonder, are you really learning anything new? So I've just had this opportunity to return to Ajijic, Mexico. Now, I really don't know any Spanish. I mean, I know a few words, and they're really valuable words, right? Sí, adiós, buenos días, hola, por favor. But it turns out that even though I know these few words, when I need to pull them up to use them, they're often not there. On my very first day here, the person at the grocery store asked me some questions to which an appropriate answer would have been sí. And what I said was da. I pulled out a Russian word. Now, I haven't had a chance to speak Russian for many years, and I never did speak it very well. But da, and then I said niet. For no, out of nowhere. Now, what happened? Well, what happened is it's just all a jumble in my brain. It's a jumble in my brain. The experiences are a jumble. I'm feeling under a little bit of pressure. My brain can't quite sort and categorize things according to what I would like it to on the spur of the moment. And so this poor person probably thought, oh, I'm speaking to someone Russian if they know what niet and da is. Oh well. Similarly, I've really challenged myself to try to get the phrases of how to say hello throughout the day down. Now, I actually, and it's pretty funny to tell this on myself, I'm kind of annoyed that buenos dias doesn't work all through the day. Yes, it's true, we say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening in English, but I was shocked when I realized I couldn't just use buenos dias all through the day. Shocked? How could I be shocked by that? Really? Of course they have a sophisticated language. So my big goal a few days ago was to actually manage to get out the words buenos tardes and actually have someone say it back so that it meant that they kind of recognized what I said. I finally broke that barrier, and that day I must have gotten to say buenos tardes many, many times. Now, I'm working on buenas noches, but I'm actually not out late enough because you need to be, I guess, after like sunset, and I haven't been out with people late enough for that. Now, this kind of confusion, while it's not necessarily fun, it's easy to laugh at in retrospect, it is really, really important, and you really can't learn without it. So when you are lying on the ground and you hear me or some other instructor say, please put your feet in standing, that's true. That's a way of talking that we talk a lot in the Feldenkrais method, and it's sort of like our own language. But there's a reason that Dr. Feldenkrais taught us to say, put your feet in standing, as opposed to the entire thing of bend your knees and put your feet flat on the ground, which we also say sometimes. But sometimes we want to get this real clarity of the foot making connection to the ground in a way that might be standing. Sometimes when the student is new, they immediately try to stand up. Their brain says, feet in standing, oh, that doesn't make sense. They must mean I need to stand up. A totally okay interpretation, right? It's like suddenly going, what? Okay, what? I don't know what's going on. Oh, da, niet, si, whatever. I don't know. I'll say something just to get beyond that moment. And it's not anything at all to be concerned about. It's part of the learning. Then you hear the next phrase and you realize something with the interpretation I just had doesn't quite make sense. This is why the learning in the Feldenkrais method is so rich, is it really does require you to connect on all your levels. It's interesting because, of course, learning a new dance routine or a yoga move, or these do require learning, absolutely. But there's some kind of quality of connecting into yourself through listening, through language, through listening, sensing your body, through unique, novel movements that you aren't able to see demonstrated or very rarely see demonstrated, that really brings the newness of learning to the fore. So be experiential and perhaps enjoy the moments that you are confused.